Hey guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Rich.
I'm Lorna.
Name of the channel is Rich the Return Rider. So today, guys, we got a retiree here with us. It's great now that we can get out on my schedule and do all the things that we want to do. So that's awesome. But what we're doing today, guys, is we're out in my favorite parking lot here, and we're going to be doing 2up. And we're going to be practicing this stuff, kind of simulating real world situations. One of the concerns I had on the last trip we took is as I was doing certain things, Lorna seemed to be a little unsure of what I was doing. So I thought it was important to get out in the parking lot with her, do the emergency braking, the braking and swerving, the slow rides as we were riding through Tennessee, especially Gatlinburg and the traffic. And I was doing the slow ride. She felt a little uncomfortable. That's all part of the game, guys. So it's great to be able to come out and practice with her so she can know what is going on and what is expected before we take this next trip. Now, I'm going to put a little bit of pressure on Lorna here today. Now, as the operator, I know what I'm supposed to be doing, right?
As the rider, I should know what I'm doing
As
too.
the rider, we're going to have Lorna. We're going to put a little bit of pressure on Lorna. I'm going to say, as I turn my head, I want her to turn her head where I'm going. I put the GoPro on the top of her helmet so we can go back and watch these videos and we can critique and comment on them. And we're going to bring that stuff to you guys here today. What we're going to do at the end of this video, guys, is as we get back to the house, it is hot out here. This is what, the Wednesday? Wednesday of August. We're going to go back to the house and we'll do a kind of a outro and hear what her opinion is. And we'll have a little discussion.
And if you see something, you critique us too.
If you see something, guys, leave a comment in the comment section below, something we can do better or so forth, guys. All right, so let's get this going.
Okay.
All right, guys, the first exercise we're going to be doing here is some emergency braking, something I think is extremely important. Of course, as we watch the video back, Lorna noticed that my foot came down there a little earlier than it should have. So to keep Lorna happy, we are going to repeat this exercise and try to get it a little bit better. Guys, practicing is always a learning process. So there we go. Might be a little better stop there. And the next thing we're going to be doing, man, guys, is we try to get some control over the friction zone as we're doing the slow rides. We're going to simulate, again, being in traffic. Like I said, when we were in the Tennessee area last time, the traffic was really heavy, so a lot of the slow ride came into play. And a little bit of a braking and escaping there to the right. The next thing we're doing here, guys, is the single serpentine. I have these cones about 18 feet apart. Usually when I'm practicing them, I get them down to about 12 feet apart. But no need for unnecessary chances here, you know, with a passenger on the back. A couple of U-turns there. And again, the single serpentine, an exercise getting you used to the motorcycle leaning. I'm pretty comfortable with the motorcycle leaning. Want to make sure that Lorna feels comfortable with the motorcycle swaying from side to side. Again, a little bit of emergency braking and swerving, as I call it, or braking and escaping. You know, doing a lot of different simulations here, guys, to get her used to the motorcycle. Doing some U-turns here and a pretty tight circle, get her used to the motorcycle again. I remember doing that exercise there, and we got the bike a little over to, guys, gonna forgive some of the noise that you're hearing in the background. That is the wind coming from the GoPro 7 on top of Lorna's helmet. This is the view from Lorna's helmet. Again, trying to get her to turn her head or to see what she's looking at as I'm turning my head to the left or to the right. Here is that overhead view from her camera of the slow ride. Trying to get you to hear kind of what it's like to try to keep the motorcycle in the friction zone, keeping the throttle up. Guys, this is the whole, what I call the Robert Simmons being the boss of your motorcycle format. And these are the exercises that he would have at his course. Check that guy's channel out. Motorcycle Riding 101. From her helmet here, single serpentine, 18 feet apart. Motorcycle swinging and swaying. I gotta tell you guys, one of the things that was an eye-opener, and you know, he always said on his channel, Robert Simmons, watch other people's channels. We watch the Mojitsus. I'm a big fan of Paul Harper. And one of the things that I realize is listening to different people teaching different things. There's something that you're going to hear that sticks in your mind, and that's keeping that throttle in that nice steady position. But what I thought was interesting, guys, that have made it so comfortable for me to operate the motorcycle, especially in U-turns and tight turns, is watching Paul Harper talk about getting into the friction zone before you go into the U-turn and keeping the throttle at a steady position. But there was something about Paul Harper demonstrating this that seemed to put me at ease to the point where I now feel comfortable leaning the motorcycle, using the friction zone to pull you through the U-turn, instead of actually, I've always relied on a little bit of momentum, which was always worked against. So here, guys, now we're going to be doing one of the exercises that I always found a little bit more challenging than some of the others, and it's basic left and right turns. Now, if you watch the beginning of Robert Simmons' video, guys, as he's interviewing folks and a lot of the return riders, again, guys, why I made this channel the Return Rider. Folks with 30, 40, and 50 years still struggling to make basic right in use, just to show how important this stuff is. And how important it is, man, when you're going to have someone on the back of the bike. Now there, guys, you're going to see that I made that right turn, and the handlebars, when I came to a stop, was still turned. And if not for the encouragement of using the rear brake, and I had used the front brake, that motorcycle will feel like it want to drop. What I'm doing here now, guys, is basic U-turns, left and right U-turns, probably about 20 feet apart. Not quite down to 18 feet. Didn't want to push the limits with Lauren on the back of the motorcycle. But I have now been able to get that with the Goldwing down to 18 feet or less. Again, employing these techniques, man, and watching some of those, those videos. Okay, again, right and left turn here. Still struggling a little bit with using that rear brake a little too abruptly. But the Honda Goldwing, guys, the rear brake on this motorcycle is really, really sensitive. But no excuses. Here, right turn came to a stop with the steering wheel straight. Motorcycle feels a little bit more stable. Guys, one of the things that we joked about was watching Lorna, the way she's sitting on the back of the motorcycle. We're going to have a discussion about that a little later. But now we're here, and we are looking from the GoPro 7 from Lorna's helmet. As I make the left turn there, came to a stop. Not bad. And whatever we do to the left, we're going to do to the right. Guys, I'm getting a lot more comfortable with doing some of these exercises. Going to the right. The right has always been a struggle for me. And I'm starting to find that as I've been practicing so much going to the right, that it's becoming an easier transition to go to the right now than the left. Here again, right turn, stop, pretty smooth. I think we're going to end it on that note there. Alright, guys, and now we're going to have a discussion about this here as we go forward. So, guys, this is the morning after. We're back here with Lorna. We're going to have Lorna talk about what she experienced yesterday, and then I'm going to be a gentleman. I'm going to let her go first on what she thought about our practice yesterday, our parking lot practice.
So I thought I was comfortable because of the position I sit in my office upright. But coming back and looking at the video, if you remember Jurassic Park, I was like the raptor with my arms and my back up. So it would appear to people that I'm not comfortable, but after coming back and getting on the bike and getting into a more relaxed position, now I get how I should be sitting on the bike.
Well, that's why this was so important, guys. I spoke to Robert Simmons last week. I talked to him about doing a video 2up, and he said he thought it was important that we record it so we can go back and we can see certain things that we can discuss. Guys, there is levels to this riding motorcycles, and also riding 2up. What was interesting is I came back and I saw the videos with Lorna, and I said, why are you sitting back like this here? That doesn't look comfortable. Now, we're not the typical Goldwing riders, guys. We do not take those long rides for days and so forth, but it is in our future to get out and ride a lot more, and I want her to be as comfortable as possible. But one of the things that I had to explain to her that I saw in the video is I was always told, and I'm being taught, that as we're taking tight turns, just like she was holding on to me when we did the emergency braking, as we're making tight turns or we're making U-turns and so forth, she should be a little bit forward holding on for the stability and the handling of the motorcycle. But you know what? Since the Honda Goldwing have such a low center of gravity, I don't even know if that was such a big deal. I never felt the bike being offset. You know, we went back and watched the GoPro, and you know, she's pretty pleased with her head and eyes turns and so forth. But what I thought was important, guys, is the position that I saw her in. I need her to be as relaxed on the motorcycle as possible, especially for maneuvering and especially for distant rides. And that was one of my concerns as I watched her on the bike. And you know, I went back and I studied videos about riding 2up and so forth. Guys, this is an ongoing journey. We are learning as we go. Important again to get out in the parking lot and do these practices. You know, I got so many people that I heard saying, hey, you know, my wife don't want to ride and so forth. I'm happy to have Lorna along this journey. And the thing about it is, man, if we don't get in these parking lot and do these practices, if we're not practicing to control the motorcycles ourselves, man, we cannot be putting our loved ones on the back of the motorcycles. We're just making this thing way more dangerous than it have to be. And you know, this is what this video was all about. We're going to get back out on a cooler day. It was absolute. It's probably 90 something degrees out there yesterday.
It was, yeah.
So, but this is important before we start taking off into the mountains and so forth, that I feel like I'm the boss of this motorcycle, Robert Forward. I'm going to continuously promote these guys' channels on this channel. This is not all about me. This is about the return riders and all the things we are learning in this journey back into riding. I said a lot in the video, man. Hearing different people instruct these techniques makes a world of difference. What you think, Lorna?
Well, let me add something, because he had put these arms on here. So I felt that when I am sitting back, because I love to sit up straight, that my arms was on this part of the arm rest. But now I realize, no, I don't need to sit like that, like a raptor. I need to relax.
All right, guys, this is where your comments come in. There's plenty of options to these extensions here out for the Honda Goldwing. I think I got these from Kuryakin. These was recommended by Chris Caliente. And one of the things I was concerned about, especially on these hot days, is having a cup for her. I drink quite a bit. I got the big ass cup, they call it, to the front. That's what the name of the cup is.
You call it big ass?
That's what the cup is called.
Okay.
It's the big ass cup. And I wanted her to be able to have access to also be able to drink. You know, hydration is also a concern out there on these motorcycles. But anyway, guys, you know, that's why we brought this video to you guys, so we can get out, we can record, we can see what we are doing on the motorcycle. You know, I'm going to be contacting Robert, if he's not watching my videos, for him to watch this video and critique anything that he see in this video that he think that I need to work on. We're going to be going forward doing a couple more of these practices before we head over to the mountains of Tennessee. Loosen up, Lorna. Relax, man. I got you, man.
Relax, release.
All right. Like I always say in my video, guys, and that was an example of what I'm talking about. You got to get in these parking lots and practice. Put some drop guards. Protect your motorcycles. Don't care what you ride. Practice, practice, practice. Everybody's saying it. They're saying it in different ways with the same message. Practice on these motorcycles. It's better that we drop them on the concourse or on the parking lot than to crash them out there in the streets. Rich
and Lorna
out.